Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Chief Public Health Officer Theresa is concerned that Canadians are too often reaching for junk food and sweets during this pandemic. Well, this morning, Dietitian Sue Mah is opening up her fridge to show us some healthy staples that can help with stress and lessen that carb load. It is news we can all use. Good morning. How are you, Sue?
I'm great. How are you today?
I'm very well. We all need these tips because we want to stay satiated and you want to be healthy. So even if you've gained some weight, that's okay. Start fresh today. It's
totally
a Monday.
Okay.
First things
Absolutely.
first, milk. We're hearing a
Yeah.
lot about vitamin D and vitamin C and how that can amp up your immunity.
Yeah, so let me open my fridge to show you what's inside.
Yes, and thank you.
And thanks. So welcome to my fridge. So yeah, milk is a kitchen staple in my fridge for sure because it's nutritious and versatile. You probably know there's 15 essential nutrients in milk, like calcium, vitamin D, magnesium. Those are good for strong bones and teeth. But there are a couple of other things about milk that maybe our viewers don't know. So vitamin D, we know helps our body absorb calcium, but vitamin D also plays a role in immunity. And milk is one of the few foods and beverages that contain vitamin D. And milk is an excellent source of vitamin D. Now, the second thing I wanted to point out about milk is protein. So a cup of milk has 9 grams of protein, which is more protein than what you would get in a plant-based beverage. And this high-quality protein helps us feel fuller for longer. That's the satiety. Protein also helps us stay alert. So if you have those meetings in the afternoon and you're working from home, you want to be alert. But also, very importantly, protein helps build antibodies. And that's another boost and important thing for our immune system. So we always make oatmeal with milk. We do a smoothie in the morning. I make a latte in the afternoon. And I even make like muffins and banana bread and macaroni and cheese with milk. So really versatile. That's my number one staple.
All right, love, let's get through all of them. Up next, eggs.
Yeah, eggs. So I've got eggs down here on the lower shelf. You want to keep them here, not in the door. Eggs contain protein. They also contain vitamin D. So remember, vitamin D and immunity are important.
Yeah.
If you buy the eggs with the omega-3 enriched eggs, then you're also getting omega-3 fats, which are good for the heart, but they're also good for the mood. So those omega-3 fatty acids can help improve our mood and help us feel a little bit happier when we're not feeling, down, when we're feeling stressed.
Another great thing, veggies. We always hear about eating the rainbow, but you say there's a lot of nutrition packed in certain veggies over others, like red peppers versus green, for example.
Yeah, that's such a good point. So vitamin C, is important for immunity, and red peppers have about 1.5 times more vitamin C than green peppers. So I always like to put them here. Sometimes I cut them up ahead of time and I make a little snack with some dip at the bottom and some fresh cut veggies. And I also wanted to point out spinach. So when we're stressed, the stress hormone cortisol rises, which depletes our body of magnesium. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, Swiss chard are great sources of magnesium. So try to include them as often as possible. I even have some bok choy and I've got some asparagus. Those are also great for magnesium. And outside of the fridge, nuts, seeds, and even dark chocolate. Dark chocolates contain magnesium. Yeah.
And don't forget fruits. There are so many beautiful fruits available to us right now. This is the season.
I've got some local strawberries here, and what I do is I try to keep the fruits at eye level so that when myself and the kids and my husband are hungry, we want that snack, we've got everything ready to go, right? As opposed to going to the pantry and reaching for something else that may not be as healthy. So that's another tip that I have is to keep your healthy foods at eye level. Make those healthy foods the easiest choice as possible.
Smart. I love that you say nut butters. My problem is I can eat a whole, like at least half a jar in one sitting until I get literally like a cement feeling in my tummy.
Well, you know what? That's okay. I mean, we're all going through stressful times, so balance it with some activity too.
That's really good advice. Also, you say salmon has those important fats that satiate as well as avocados. And you say leftovers. They used to get a bad rap, but it does help us to eat and make larger portions.
Oh, my goodness.
Rather,
Absolutely.
so we can eat
leftovers.
them day 2 and 3.
Well, yeah, so, yesterday's dinner was spaghetti and meatballs, so that's going to be my lunch today. And you mentioned carbs at the beginning of the segment.
Yeah.
Carbohydrates actually help our body release serotonin, which is that feel-good hormone, that feel-good chemical. So I'm okay about carbs if you're choosing those smart carbs, the whole grain bread, whole grain pastas. And like I said, I'm having pasta and some meatballs for lunch today.
Does it help to combine the protein with the carb?
Absolutely. So protein helps to slow down the digestion of different carbohydrates. And so whether you're having a pasta salad or maybe some spaghetti and meatballs, it's nice to have some protein. And it also helps with that, and the building of antibodies. And it also helps you feel fuller when you've got protein at a meal.
Yeah, a lot of people were shying against things that were considered high fat content. You remember the 80s? It was all about starches,
Oh,
and
my
now it's the
goodness.
other. So what are the healthy fats then, and where do we find them?
Well, we talked about the fish for sure that has those healthy omega-3 fats, which are good for our heart and also good for our brain. And I wanted to point out avocados. So avocados, I'll keep them on the table at room temperature until they turn sort of dark green or black. Then I'll put them in the fridge to avoid further ripening. But avocados contain vitamin B6, believe it or not. And B6 is another vitamin that helps our body produce serotonin, that feel-good chemical. So other foods that contain B6 would be things like chicken and poultry, potatoes, even bananas contain some vitamin B6.
Great tips. Fill up on your proteins, your greens, your fruits, all of it, and you'll feel so much better as a result. NutritionSolutions.ca. Thanks for letting us take a peek into your fridge, and it's great tips
Thanks
as always.
so much.
Stay safe, Dr. Sue Mah.
Bye.
We'll be back with more BT right after this.